I hate that album, man. Listen, D and Y, I love y'all. Y'all did some great work, man. I need my 12.99
You were
back.
still talking about this Ride or Die 2 stuff. I told you. When I flipped the back, you can go look at the songs selection and the names of the songs on Volume 1 versus Volume 2, and you know not to pick Volume 2 up. Shame on you.
I know, man, but you know how you always try to find something new. I mean, it's like I had heard Volume One so many times. I was like, man, Volume Two's out, and I think they had the "Got It All" song out with Eve and
Mm,
Jada, which was cool.
that wasn't enough.
I took a
Shame on
chance
you.
on it, man. I took a
Yeah.
chance on a new album on the strength of the previous album. Bad mistake in the CD era.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, when I take risk like that, it's like sometimes I don't get what I want, but I still get stuff. Like OC's Word Life got me to cop Jules without listening to it. Jules isn't as good as Word Life, but it's still a pretty dope project.
Yeah, but again, man, I think the most upset I've ever been after buying a CD was Volume 2, Rough Riders compilation, and the Marshall Mathers LP. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be real, man. I mean, when I bought that, I think I threw it on the highway. I bought it from Sam Goody at Cumberland Mall the day it came out. I actually bought that and M Child at the same time. M Child from Memphis. I always wanted to support like a independent artist and a major artist at the same time, even back then. And yeah, man, I was like, I heard I'm gonna kill you. I was like, man, I bought this. Jesus, what's the most upset you've been buying a CD in the CD era, where you're like, you know, I shouldn't have bought this shit.
Goody Mob World Party.
Whoa. You know what? Now you want to talk about an album that sounds better now than it did when I bought it?
But
World Party
after
sounds
Soul
okay.
Food and Still
Nah, I
Standing,
feel
Mike,
you. I feel you. Nah, you're
I
right.
was so angry. That and what else I was thinking about? The Massacre by 50.
You bought the massacre?
I
I'm
did.
surprised.
You
So you
shouldn't
were a
be.
part of the 50
Hold on.
wave.
Hold on. Do you remember you remember Eric Boyd?
That name sounds familiar.
Okay, so Eric is the only cat that's ever been my roommate other than family. You know what I'm saying? He's the only
Mm-hmm.
person I've ever lived with. I used to play Get Rich or Die trying so much that he literally came into my room one day and just like grabbed my shit and took the CD and I never saw it again.
So you bought the massacre on the strength of Get Rich or Die Trying.
It's one of the greatest rap albums of all time. Of course I did.
Mm,
He was from Queens. I've been listening to 50 for a long time. Like
yeah.
he was on those Braveheart mixtape. He was all that Nas mixtape stuff. He would pop up on there with Noriega and with Nature around that time.
Mm-hmm.
I had a copy of Power of the Dollar.
Reggie with the super chat says, if Jay-Z was to go back and rework 10 tracks where the lyrics were there but the production was lacking, what were those 10 tracks for you and Coop? Uh, huh. I think there's a lot on Volume 1 that could be reworked. Volume
Volume
One's a
One.
strange album. If anything, I wouldn't really rework the quote unquote tracks. I think again, we're talking about sequencing and editing and things of that nature. Those are things I would do. Moment of Clarity is one that comes to mind because that beat is trash.
Mm.
And but he's saying some things on there.
Who did the beat for Moment of Clarity? Just out of
Oh man,
curiosity.
come on, man. People know that. I'm not. I don't.
It's just
I
very
don't want us
problematic.
to turn.
Very problematic.
Come on, man. Let's be real. Moment of Clarity is not the worst beat on the Black album. Come
It
on.
is, but here's what I would tell you. I was more disappointed in DJ Quick's contribution because Quick is so much, so much in a different league as Eminem has a producer. So the results should be vastly different. So I didn't love
Hmm.
Justify My Thug.
I I didn't love Justify My Thug either. I don't think it's a bad beat though. I just think
It
it
ain't a
wasn't the
good one.
best
That's for
fit.
damn sure. It ain't good.
Let's be real.
That's
How do you
Quick.
think? Because
That's Quick. He could
I
have gave Jay something better than that.
I know you saw Fade to Black, and you know they were very selective in how they showed certain songs in the process, And they showed him go to Timberland. Timberland was playing some beats or whatever. I don't know if it went down like that. Maybe just Hollywood. Who knows? And they showed the whole Rick Rubin thing. How do you think that quick thing actually happened?
I think
Because
he got mailed in because he
I
couldn't get
feel
Dre.
like that. Yeah, I feel
Got
like
mailed in
he.
because he couldn't get Dre.
I feel like he selected. He probably sent him a bunch of beats and he selected that. I don't feel like they worked together on that. Now, maybe they did, but I've never heard a story of them saying that, they actually worked together on that record. And
Doesn't feel
it doesn't feel
doesn't feel
like that. It feels mailed in. Andrew Green with the super chat says, hot take, Kingdom Come is better than Volume 3.
okay.
That's not too hot of a take.
First of all, it's nothing hot about that take. That's lukewarm.
I
Just
mean,
like
because
both
you
of
know
those
what?
albums
The
are.
song Kingdom Come in itself is better than everything on Volume 3.
You think it's better than Come and Get Me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
NYMP?
Of course. Just when they
No
thought it
Big
was all
Pimpin'
over,
action
I
for
put the
you?
whole world on my back and broad shoulders. The boy Hova, who
No,
talk all over
no
tracks
Big
like
Pimpin'
that.
for you? No Big Pimpin' for you?
I'm cool on Big Pimpin'.
So Ghetto?
Kingdom Come, the song is better than that.
You think Kingdom Come's better than So Ghetto?
I do.
Put it up in the
No
chat for a poll.
question.
Put it up in the poll for a chat. I'd love to
Sure,
see
we'll
what
do that. Katie with the
yeah.
super chat says, never cared about Azalea Banks, but she was preaching on IG the other day when she said that Bubba Sparks and Paul Wall are better white rappers than Eminem. She said that? I
You know,
thought
I
he was
feel
talking about when Azalea Banks said about Kanye and Puffy and all that and Swiss. When she said that these rap niggas will band together for some of the dumbest shit. I thought that was really interesting.
that's a very poignant statement that she makes.
But
She, you know what she is.
I don't think Bubba Sparks is better than Eminem. Let me be clear.
A boxer. I love Deliverance personally more than I love any of Eminem's albums, though.
I'm
We're just
okay
talking
with
on an
that.
album basis. Like Deliverance is great.
I can agree with that.
Deliverance by Bubba Sparks is one of the most underrated rap albums ever, actually.
Deliverance is
But
super dope.
Deliverance is super
But that's just
dope.
one album. You know what I mean? M
But
got
She
like
Tried.
11.
Remember the She Tried, the storytelling on She Tried?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And
No.
listen, I'm not saying that to knock Bubba. I think Bubba just doesn't have enough for me to make that.
Well, he doesn't have enough tools in the
proclamation.
toolbox to be M.
Yeah.
But before an album, yeah. But Azalea's like a great boxer. Like, most great boxers only land about 30 to 40% of their punches. So she doesn't land everything, but when she lands, like, it hurts.
You know what I respect about Azalea and Kanye, and I don't agree with them all the time. I hardly ever agree with Azalea. Is they're honest. They don't sit here and say everything that everybody else is saying, and I respect that. And I don't think
No.
she says
have
things
to.
for shock value either. I think that she's being real with herself, and it comes across as shock value because nobody's willing to say these things.
That is what that shock value only occurs when it happens in arbitrary fashion. It can't occur. It can't be shocking if it happens normal. Part of what's happened to us is that we've been desensitized to a lot of things because of the images and how social media works now.
Yeah. Mad Max with the super chat says nobody talks about how 50 giving Game half of the songs on his album, and that was supposed to be on the Massacre, ruined 50's legacy. This is my thing.
Nobody told him to do that.
This is
Is that
my
what
thing.
happened? If that's what happened, nobody told you to do that.
This is my thing, man. You're a creator, and if that's what happened in that way, you should be able to recover from that. If not on this album, the following one. I don't like that excuse, man. I don't. And because we always hear that about the detox and all that, like, oh, Dre gave all his beats to 50 for Get Rich or Die Trying. Okay.
He's a producer.
Are those the
He's a
only
producer.
beats you got? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't make nothing new. Because we've seen, and I hate to bring this guy up again, we've seen Kanye give great shit away. But you know what happens? Comes up with more great shit. He gave the Game Dreams. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
He gave the Game a beat like Dreams. And then,
Just
and
randomly.
we don't even think about that because you know why? The nigga came up with more shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it
Is
is.
Dreams or one of his 10 best beats though? 5 best
Man,
beats?
that shit's epic. It could
It is
be.
pretty epic.
It's hard for me to really, dig in because he got so much stuff, but no one's sitting there saying, like, yo, late registration suffered because Kanye had to produce a bulk of B. No, he just did the shit.
I told you his greatest year might be that year. It's like, oh, you did late registration and be in the same year. It's like somebody give this nigga a standing ovation.
No one's
So he
sitting
will
here
start
coming
giving
at
himself a
RZA.
standing ovation.
Nobody sitting here coming at RZA like, yo, the purple tape, well, not the purple tape, Liquid Swords lacked because you had to produce the whole purple tape. Or Old Dirty's album lacked because you had to produce Liquid Swords. He's great. He just did it.
After T'Challa into the Wu-Tang.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't like that excuse where people be like, oh, you get this project suffered because I gave this person this. Well, if you're that great to be giving away shit,
And you want to know
retool.
what?
Make some more shit.
And here's what people have to understand about T'Challa. The beats on T'Challa are great. The rhymes on T'Challa are great. It's the life part that's missing. The songs just don't come all the way together like they should. The beats by themselves, the beats and the rhymes on there are dope as fuck. It's
This
a dope
is my
album.
thing, and I love
It's
Method
aged
Man.
well, in my opinion, too.
Method Man was my favorite rapper at that point in 1994. I think what's off-putting, or that I don't want to say off-putting, the expectations are different because he's coming from a group where these guys are very content heavy. He's not that. You know what I mean? And I think the expectations were, or like you said, him being matched up with the Biggies, the Nas's. These guys are going to be talking about a lot in their rhymes. Method Man's not going to give you records like The World Is Yours. He's not going to give you records like, Memory Lane. You're not going to get that from Method Man. Right. And I don't think people were ready for that at that point.
So this is what happened. And so this is what I mean. I don't think he actually got treated fairly. People forget that for whatever people feel about Biggie, the content on Ready to Die does have dense moments.
Yeah.
Everyday struggle.
Things done changed.
Done changed. I don't care what you say. Hold on. Let me tell you what. Give Me the Loot isn't just a street record. That's a struggle record. You feel me?
Suicidal Thoughts. Method Man can't do those things for you. Yeah.
The song Ready to Die.
Yeah.
Warning.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's depth on Ready to Die. So here's what happened. You're getting juxtaposed to Nas and Biggie. That's not fair because if you go back and listen to Enter the Wu-Tang, Enter the Wu-Tang is very, you know how you say that Illmatic is the most easy listening, great lyrical rap album ever?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers is the easiest listening street rap album ever because they nailed all the hooks, but nothing is complex, Mike.
Yeah.
How do the hooks go? Listen, if you want beef, then bring the ruckus. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. You best protect your neck. Watch your step, kid. Watch your step, kid.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Clan in the front. Let your feet stomp. Niggas on the left. Rag shit to death. Hoods on the right. Wild for the night. Punks in the back. There's nothing complicated about that. Listen, shame on a nigga who tried to run game on a nigga. Went buck wild with the trigger.
It's just perfect. Jay Short with the super chat says, my biggest disappointment was Miseducation. I liked it, but I was confused why one of the best rappers ever in her prime was singing. You know what? I had that feeling when I heard The Love Below, and I know everybody want to have revisionist history and never wants to admit it, but when y'all opened that package and put in The Love Below, I know you wanted to hear more rapping than what you heard. I know you did.
Absolutely.
I know you did. You know, we sat there and dealt with it because of his artistic freedoms and all of that stuff, but I know when we sat there and saw 20 tracks on that album, I think it was like 20, right?
19
no, or something like that.
20. A Day in the Life of Andre Benjamin is track 20.
I know we wanted to hear more than 3 verses with that. I know I did. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, here's the thing about it. You want to know what? I would feel better about that sentiment. No, I would feel that sentiment wouldn't be as hard to take if it had aged the way the Miseducation did. It's not like the singing that she did on the Miseducation hasn't stayed. No X Factor stays. You know what I'm saying? Nothing even matters. Like Mike, every time I do cut it on A Quiet Storm, Nothing Even Matters gets played at some point. Like today.
It's a beautiful record.
So it's like Everything Is Everything still gets played.
I played that the other day. And
the
I mean, honestly,
Can't Take My Eyes Off You still gets played.
She wasn't just singing. She was making some great R&B records.
She's making some great records.
I can't really say
The Love Below hasn't aged well.
This is the thing with The Love Below. I think that it was well written, great writing, all that stuff, right? But I think on the execution standpoint, I think that's why it may not have aged well. And I think it's understated too that he never performed any of this shit. And so when you perform these records, that's what I'm saying. But performing an album and performing songs on an album gives that album legs. You know what I mean? And the fact that he never performed any of that stuff, all you have is what's on the disc.
But Prototype,
beautiful.
She Lives in My Lap, Vibrate.
She Lives in My Lap is the best song he ever made, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. I'm right there with you. But Vibrate, Spread, Happy Valentine's Day.
Great record.
No, that's dope ass shit. No, that's great stuff.
Even Roses is a great record.
I was about to say Hey Ya to a degree, even though they just
Hey Ya's great. It. We just got tired of it, man. It just got
Day in the Life of Andre Benjamin, of course.
Yeah.
No, there's stuff on there.
Take Off Your Cool with Norah Jones. Great record. I like Dracula's Wedding too. Let me get to some of these.
I didn't like Dracula's Wedding. See, that's that stuff you could have kept. You could have kept that A&R artist and repertoire.
I like Dracula's Wedding. Mad Max in the super chat says 50 would have had 2 certified classic albums, classic mixtapes, and a classic collabo album. That's a 2-time champion, 3 gold medals, and an MVP. Top 20 status.
Boy,
I don't believe it. Listen, you know what? Let's talk about the Massacre real quick.
What is he smoking?
I think the highlights on the Massacre are huge.
Is that bubblegum kush?
It's just the missteps, man. I mean, what did you not like about the Massacre? Let me ask you, since you bought it. And
Isn't it like 21 tracks?
It was too long.
Like 15 of them. That's what I don't like. I don't like 15 of the records. What do you mean? What do I not like?
Ski Mask Way was hard.
Ski Mask Way might be the best song on there.
I think either that. Nah, In My Hood's the best song on there to me. That's one of my favorite 50 songs, man. That shit hard.
I like Ski Mask Way more, but that's fine.
And you know, and I've talked about this producer earlier in the show, but I think that I'm Gonna Die Tonight is probably Eminem's most impressive production performance too. Now that Gap Man and Robin, that shit's trash. That shouldn't have been on there. No, that shouldn't have even been made. That shouldn't have been on anything.
Baltimore Love Thing.
I like Baltimore Love Thing.
Me too.
I like what's the Rider music? That was cool.
God Gave Me Style.
Beautiful song.
Yep. Those are my favorites. We just went through them. So Baltimore Love Thing, Ski Mask Way, In My Hood, God Gave Me Style. What's up with the rest of it? Disco Inferno. I like Disco Inferno. I like
Disco Inferno. I can't front on that record.
Yeah, I'm not going to front on Disco Inferno.
Hold on. Let me get to some of these super chats. Tater Tots.
That's 6 songs, Mike. That's what I'm saying. That's 6 records.
I'm going to go through it in a second. Tater Tot says, Victory Lap over Good Kid, Mad City, and Crenshaw over Section 80. Huh. Ooh. That might take us into our first topic. KD with the super chat says, you could create 1 million what-if scenarios in hip-hop. What if 50 kept those songs and he gave game? What if I Am and Nostradamus was released as one album? I agree. We can't play that game, man. We can infinitely do that. Mad Max says, Mike, how creative can someone be you're talking about 3 people who can reinvent themselves. Nas, Ye, and who else? Creativity isn't infinite. Sorry. Yes, it's not. I mean, again, let's look at the game though. Because if he just giving Game stuff like that, right? Game should have fell off a long time ago. He shouldn't even have a catalog. And let's just be real. Game would beat 50 in a versus.
Yes.
Mad Max to the super chat says 50 was giving all of G Unit stuff. Now that I believe. Like hooks for all other projects.
Yes.
We kill Hove and Drake for keeping the good stuff, but turn around and say that 50 was a what was that? Oh, was a one album star, even though
So
he gave away 2 albums worth of material. I don't buy into that whole one album wonder. Now, I will say that I think 50 did a lot of work that he doesn't get credit for, and I think that he consistently put out good stuff, even though he wasn't at the height of his hotness anymore.
you want to know what? I will say this. He did give some of his best stuff to his artists.
No, I will say
And
that.
and that does need to be noted. Here's what I'll tell you. I think in order it goes Get Rich or Die Trying, the documentary, Straight Outta Cashville, Beg for Mercy. Those are the 4 great projects out of that camp, correct?
You didn't like Lloyd Banks' album?
I liked it, but I don't think it's great. It's just good. It doesn't belong with those other 4, in my opinion.
Okay.
But right there on those 4, that's fair to say, and maybe we do need to give him more credit.
And
Because I
then
was just thinking about what he did
mixtapes
for
are the
Buck's
deal
album.
too.
Like, no, what he did for Buck's album, I was thinking about Bonafide Hustler and the Let Me In.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of his best verses is Bonafide Hustler. They say heaven for churchgoers and hell's for the heathen, so I'ma just ball the fuck out while I'm breathing, 8th after 8th. What you know about that fast flip? Crack spot fiends coming round for that glass dig. Now, shame stay asking for a dime for 9. I tell you what, I'll hook you up this one last time. Yeah, he's great.
Personality. Yo, and he even gave Tony Yayo a hit with So Seductive.
That's
He
what
was
I'm saying.
all over
So
that.
that's fair.
Yeah.
No, the stuff that he put in, because you can tell most of that is his hook work.
He could have kept So
That's where
Seductive
he
for
may not be
himself.
getting his credit is for all the great hooks that he
Yeah.
did, because that's what's the key to those records. I'll teach you how to stunt. Popping them things is a personal favorite.
Popping them things is hard.
Everywhere we go.
Listen, he could have easily kept So
around the
Seductive.
world. No, I'm gonna give him his props
Yeah.
today.
He could have
did a
easily
lot of
kept
work.
that record. He could have kept
If he
well,
would
I
have
guess
kept
he
popping them
technically
things
did.
for the massacre, oh my God.
Yeah. Everywhere I go through. All the
That's my
gangsters
shit.
around
That's Drake.
my
That's
hoe.
one of Drake's best beats nobody talks about.
Yeah, that shit's hard.
That shit's
Actually,
crazy.
you know what I really like? I like Out of Control remix with Mobb Deep. That
I'm
beat
cool
is
with that.
crazy.
I didn't love the move, but that you can't deny that record.
What's that?
No, Out of Control, the
Out of
remix.
Control.
Like you can't deny it.
Like
Yeah, it's
if
crazy.
Dre produced that, that's one of the best.
That's one of his best, yeah.
And recent. Well, I won't say recent. That was a fucking 17 years ago.
No, that's period. No, that's one of his period beats. Dot.
I love that record.
That's one
Sean
of those
Lindsay with the super chat.
Dr. Dre contributions that don't belong in the Chronic or the Chronic 2001, where you're like, give me that one. When he gave him that one.
All right,
hey, how about this? I think the 2 Dre beats pushed the Purple Tape 2 over to Album of the Year status that year. The 2 Dre beats at the end.
Okay.
That was the finishing move. That was like, put a stranglehold on that Album of the Year thing.
Jay Short says, if Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis never gave songs away, they'd be the greatest duo in music history.
I was thinking about Babyface. Babyface be the illest.
Babyface, man, he gave away a lot of stuff if we want to play that game. A lot of stuff.
Talk about bars.
Right. Sean Lindsay with the super chat says, curious if you and Coop ever heard Top Authority's album, Something to Blaze To. I think it's one of the hardest gangster rap albums ever made. I need to check that out. I haven't heard it.
It sounds Something to Blaze To sounds familiar, but I can't say that I've heard it.
Yeah, got to check that out.
It sounds familiar just off the name. Hey, you want to know what? Hey, Mike, can we I just wanted to cover a couple of quick sports topics that I think are important that both involve the tennis in the U.S. Open right now.
I was going to say Josh Allen's the truth, but okay.
Okay, first of all, Josh Allen saw Bobby Wagner and saw the goal line, and unlike most grown-ass men, said, fuck that, and kept going toward the goal line. That's a grown man. You understand who Bobby Wagner is, right?
Yeah.
That's arguably the best linebacker of the last 15 years. And Josh Allen saw him at the goal line and proceeded to keep going. It's a problem this year.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I was like,
shout out to Buffalo, man. Buffalo looks good.
He's going to do that to Jalen Ramsey on throwing the ball. He's going to do that to Bobby Wagner on running the ball. We didn't hear Aaron Donald's name all night outside of one or two plays. Oh, it's a problem.
Josh Allen's crazy right now, man. Buffalo's defense looked great too. Shout out to
Problem.
Von
Von
Miller.
Miller.
Yeah.
The problem.
Yeah.
They had the number one defense last year. They didn't have Von Miller. It's a problem in these streets.
Oh yeah.
You don't. Hold on. Can you imagine? It's late December and it's the playoffs, and you got to go there, and he's running towards the goal line, and it's snowing, and it's -5-degree wind chill, and you got Von Miller calling off the edge against your court.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Somebody
problem.
better start beating them. You don't want to go to Buffalo and play that quarterback and got Von on the edge. They're a problem.
Yeah, they are. Well, what were you about to say about tennis?
In a few moments, or sometime in the next hour, Francis Tiafoe is going to try to be the first black man since Arthur Ashe to actually make the U.S. Open final. He's the first black man, obviously, to make the semifinal since Arthur Ashe, which literally precedes you and I being born. So a little bit of history is taking place. Now, standing in his way is Carlos Alcaraz, who is a Spaniard, who is literally the closest thing that we've seen to Rafael Nadal, who is the all-time major men's record holder. So he has a large task up against him. Earlier this year, Alcaraz did something that only a handful of guys have ever done, and that is beat Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic consecutively to win a Masters Series title. The last person to beat them consecutively was Juan Martín del Potro in the 2009 U.S. Open. So this 19-year-old kid is good, and Tiafoe is up against it. What he has in his favor is that Alcaraz and his friend and Italian counterpart, Jannik Sinner, played the second longest match in U.S. Open history a couple of days ago. It was 5 hours and 15 minutes. Let's hope he's tired. I would love to see a black man in the final of the U.S. Open. On the women's side, Mike, we have the first woman ever to come from Africa to play for the women's title at the U.S. Open. Anish Jabbour is from Tunisia, and although it is an mostly Arab-dwelling country, it is in Africa. She is from Tunisia, so she is the first African woman of descent, even though she claims Arab, the Arab nation mostly. It is in Africa, Tunisia is. Mm-hmm. People don't know where Tunisia is. It's like right between, I think Algeria. It's like Algeria, Tunisia, something's right here, and then the Mediterranean's right there where Saudi Arabia is. So super close, and it's a very densely populated Arab country, but it's in Africa. She is playing the number one player in the world tomorrow to try to be the first African-born player to win a major. So a little bit of history going on up in Flushing Meadows, Queens, as we speak.
Nice. Legend with the super chat says Blueprint 2 Volume 3 and American Gangster 444. Wow. That's an interesting list. Jay Short says sometimes you give songs away because they aren't for you. Yes, Kanye West did that a lot. I mean, I'm sure he knew Dreams was an incredible beat, but it's like, yeah, Gold Digger's for me. You know what I mean? Like,
so this is what I mean, like, man, we end up talking about him so too much. I can't stand that he's such a nasty bastard. You know who? This is what I'm saying. Man, R. Kelly could write you a great song and perform a great song. Like, even beyond Babyface. He's not the songwriter that Babyface is overall, because I don't think he has the depth to cross over to the female side the way Babyface does. But don't give me this, like, giving your best stuff away necessarily. It's like, if you got it, you got it. Like, R. Kelly can give stuff to Ronald Isley and Michael Jackson and then literally still go make classic material consecutively for himself. Yeah. Think about it. He can give Ronald Isley and Michael Jackson and Celine Dion material, but then he can go still make I Believe I Can Fly.
No one ever heard an R. Kelly album.
Make Chocolate Factory. Nasty bastard.
No one ever heard an R. Kelly album and say, you know what, man, he's giving away too much of his good stuff.
Nobody ever said that. You want to know why? Because there was always plenty of fire shit in there.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says,
maybe the R. Kelly album. The R. Kelly album might be his best written album. It gets the least talked about of all his great works. The one with I Can't Sleep.
A great album.
And Be Happy and You Remind Me of My Jeep. That's the songwriting genius right there. It's like he really made a hit record comparing a woman to a car. I don't know how you pulling this shit off.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Mike is smoking bubblegum Kush 50 versus Game, 20 songs. Game is done. Stick a fork in the game.
You want to know what I
What
thought about?
Game got for a little bit, and at least you can
Don't say
wish
for
me
a little
luck.
bit. I was thinking about that Disco Inferno, because Disco Inferno and In the Club are problems.
No, Disco Inferno's a monster. I didn't like
Disco
a little bit
Inferno's a
like
problem.
that.
Isn't that a Dre beat?
I think so.
That's one of the Dre beats on the Massacre. It feels like all the Dre stuff, I think, except for Gatman and Robin on there, is the best stuff, I think.
Dre did Gatman and Robin?
I feel like it.
Oh my God. I thought Eminem did that.
Let's check the stats.
KD with the super chat says the argument for 50 can be made against him. What if Rakim, D12, keep in the club? The truth is, everything under Interscope was collaborative back then. You know, I think that the whole mentality, too, was kind of like an all eyes on me mentality. They were going to give 50 everything at that point. Reggie with the super chat says, how do you guys feel about Coast Contra's version of Scenario? I got to listen to that.
I stand corrected. Eminem did Gatman and Robin.
Okay. Sounds like it. Shit's trash. I mean, I didn't mean it like that. You know what I mean?
You pretty certain.
It sounds like his style is what I meant. And those were two separate statements.